Conrad. So I know you have deep connection with our community. Lots of business owners come to you, talk about their difficulties, their life challenges. So I wonder, did you hear any story, like individual story or their personal stories to tell you that because of this income tax, this new income tax, they are having a plan, maybe leave Washington State?
I have heard, and I know many people that have left the state, and if they have not left it, they have purchased their home somewhere else, and they move over there, and then trying to figure out how to avoid paying tax to the state of Washington. But as you know, the state always can come up with some way to get you. So even if you move away, if you own property here, eventually they're going to charge you exit tax. If you leave, you have to pay tax. If you have property, because you have belongings here, so it's very difficult. Same thing, I've talked to some realtors about homes, about apartments. They all are looking for solutions because there's a lot of listing has gone up, and the rental homes the new homes are not being built, rental, because people don't know how long they're going to stay here and buy. They don't want to put the money down. They don't want to have roots here. They want to be transient. And the idea is that I don't support this because I believe, I just told you my experience earlier. I was an immigrant. I came here because I always running from one place to another place because I went from China, where, the country has civil war, so I have no country. I don't know whether, my family, we cannot live under communist regime, but the nationalists went to Taiwan, so I didn't go to Taiwan. I'm not a nationalist. So I go to British colony, Hong Kong, and I'm not something to do with British. I was born there, so I was a British subject. And I came to the United States. I came to school here. And, to me, that's the last straw. That's the American dream, because that's the best place in the world that you actually have the things I mentioned to you. But I really didn't know that when I came as looking for opportunity, because people talk about United States, San Francisco, Chinese names called Gold Mountain. You come to the United States, the road is lined with gold. You can pick it up and just, enjoy yourself. But after I came here, I did realize, no, when Chinese came here, they worked their butt off. Railroad workers. They have no gold left, so they start building railroads. And they did all the very dangerous jobs for very much of the money, and they did laundry, they could speak the language, so it's a really tough life. Yeah. And so I came after work my butt off. But despite all that, I find that this country is a country of freedom, country that we have, equality, that we have lots of opportunity. And ultimately, after, as you know, immigration law is in process always. We always having immigrants coming. That's a wonderful thing for these countries. People always want to come here. We have more people coming here than ever before. Yes. So because we still have all those principles, remember, that we stand for our Constitution, land of opportunity, freedom, and justice for all. So we had lots of problems over the years because discrimination or the affirmative action. But these are all transient. These are all things that we have to adjust. And Constitution allows us to do all that. That's a wonderful part of this. It's flexible. It's adjustable, adaptable, but we have to work at it. And it's up to us how we can decide what's the best for the future. And so I find my home. I find my country. This is where I want to stay. I don't want to keep on running. I don't want to be a refugee for life, because I've been a refugee for until I come to the United States. Says, no, this is my home. Why do I have to run?
I really like what you said.
Even running from the Washington state, I can run to any other states. But yes. When do I have to run for another state? This country is messed up, but we have to start from right here at the beginning. Let's fix up our cities. Let's fix up this. The cities are hurt because of the money is being spent in the wrong places. We know that. The city has to pay. The city gets not as much because the city needs help from everybody else, right? The government, let's make that happen. And so we just heard recently King County's having problems with with the homeless shelter problem, right? They spent $350 million gap. They don't know where the money went. There's no more home shelter, but the money is spent. And people, there's a lot of examples. I believe it's a basic fundamental thing is let's fix the problem. Let's start from the beginning. And let's talk to people are moving for sure, because not everybody, has the ability, number one, has the support, number two, has the people like Brian. I want to give him kudos. If anybody who can leave, he'd be the first one to leave without having spent any time and money to do this. He spent time with us talking to the public. That's a great sacrifice that each of us have to make, to the extent what we're capable of, to the maximum. And he's doing his job. And I've tried to do that, as elected official, do my part. But there's a lot of other considerations, so related. And so we need to have all the people like you out there do your part. Don't just pull up your route and go, but let's join Brian, join us. Let's fight the system. Let's make sure we get our petitioning, make sure that we sign, make sure that the elected officials hear us.
Yes.
And don't let them just give excuses. Say, well, it doesn't matter to me because I can run.
Exactly.
A lot of people run very fast, but that's not the way to live our lives, especially for our future generations. They cannot even come back to a place. They have to be looking for where are they going to run? Mm-hmm. Where can they go? Go to Russia? Go to China? Some people say, "Oh, we can go to Russia. Why not?" But that's not the case. We know we've got to be realistic. So let's do whatever we can do right now, fix the problem.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
We cannot just escape every time.
Yes.
And I love what you said, because immigrants like you and me, we come here because we think we can have our American dream fulfilled, right?
Yes.
So this income tax, it's not like rewarding hardworking people. It's like punishing the hardworking people. It's opposite of American dream.
Yes.
That's we really don't want. We have to fix it.
Yes.
So I personally heard some not story. One day, I went to Bank of America to open an account. And it's interesting. The financial manager told me she already lost several clients.
Yes.
Because of the new income tax. Their clients purchased property in Las Vegas, in Miami. They're leaving.
Right.
And what left to us? We may lose some of the job opportunities.
Yes.
What we know is Starbucks, the founder, he made a statement the day after the bill passed the House, saying, okay, I'm leaving. I'm going to, Miami, going to Florida. So what this founder brought are tons of the job opportunities. They already invested in Tennessee, and they created 2,000 job opportunities in Tennessee. That's a big loss for our community. It's interesting. When I talked with the finance manager in Bank of America, she said, there are several employees. They're definitely not millionaire. They're just regular employees, but they support to repeal this income tax because they know the negative influence on local economy. So basically, lots of people saying the new income tax just to tax the millionaires. But what I heard, that's really kind of an interesting phenomenon. Not only these rich people who will be directly affected by this income tax, they're leaving. Actually, these ordinary working families, these people who just middle class, they also leave. So I just want to have some input from you guys. Why this happened? Brian, would you please give us some information about that?
You bet. I hear every day when we're collecting signatures, I hear voices that are ordinary, regular Washingtonians who are telling us we're leaving or my neighbors just left. And in fact, one of our employees, her husband is in the military. He's retiring. They were going to live here. And because of all the taxes, they decided to go. But when I listen to them, what they all say, they're not going to get hit by the tax right away. But the sales tax is one of the highest in the United States. Our gasoline tax is the second highest in the state. Gasoline prices are second highest in the United States. The property taxes are super high. They're paying $600 for their $30 car tabs. And then one of the things that's like so if all of those things depress you and you want to get drunk or you want to get high, our marijuana tax is double what any other state. It's 37% here versus 15% in other states. And our alcohol tax is one of the highest it is the highest in the entire nation with our alcohol tax. I don't use any of those things. And yet I don't think those taxes should be high, right? But people that rely on just anything you buy at the grocery store, it's so expensive. And I haven't mentioned property taxes. So all of these things are hitting people. And I think what's happened with this income tax is they feel like, I just keep getting hit with everything. And here comes an income tax. We better get out. And that's happening not just with rich people. This is people that will never make $1 million are saying, they're talking to their wife saying, honey, maybe it's time to leave. We should look at Idaho. We should look at New Mexico. And I know personally families in that income that are leaving. So we've had employees quit because they're leaving now.
Yes. I have some friends, they are also small business owners. They're just saying it's hard for them to do the business here because all the regulations and the crime and also the burden of the tax.
Right.
Yeah. What I know is there's the interview for the local business owner. He had a business 48 years in Tacoma. His name is John Bellevue. He's owner of Delta Camshaft. Mm-hmm. He said he's moving everything to Arizona and he blamed this tax regulation and crime. And it's also interesting in the interview, he mentioned the Association of Washington Business. Mm-hmm. They did a survey in spring of 2026. Right. They mentioned there's a 91% of the business, they claim they're not going to expand their business in Washington state. And the 24% above, these are the business owners, they are planning to leave. That's really bad. And that will affect every middle class employees.
I think the 91% number in some ways is the most devastating number. Yes. 91% say we're not expanding, we're not growing, we're not going to invest. Mm-hmm. That's really deadly for our economy. And I know even I've got a ranch. I don't want to spend more money on making the barn nice or expanding things because I don't know what else they're going to tax. And I think that impacts everybody that I employ. It impacts all the subcontractors, all the vendors, and those all employ people. That piece right there, 91% are not going to expand their business means electricians and plumbers and service workers and people that provide food and catering and lunch shops. All of those businesses will be impacted because they're not growing or expanding.
So what you're saying is so poignant because I believe that we need to look at the future. Yes. And we need to look at, the future prospect. And if people don't want to grow, that means it's going to shrink, right? And the reason is because we're not welcoming it, we're not encouraging it, we're not supporting it. There's one concept I have is tax. You only tax things that you discourage. Good things you should
Tobacco,
encourage.
That's right.
More tax. Have people do more. Tax is a measure that government says, we don't like you to do that, so we tax you.
Right.
And so it's just opposite. Now we say, well, you want to do more, it's a great thing, we're going to tax you. So we do less. because of the, so it doesn't work. It doesn't last. It is not sustainable. So we're really doing things against, I believe, rationality. I think it's very important. Most people don't just look at the short term. If you move somewhere else, you face the same problem. Small businesses, they got to have, able to prepare for it, to be able to grow. If you don't grow, why do you want to keep doing it, right? And I think this has to be the future for the next generation coming, because this is a place where it's a good place that I can actually be welcome, to encourage me, help me to do whatever that's going to help myself, my family, and the community. So I think that, again, the simple things that we need to drum in to relate to what we are doing today, and then say maybe we can change it. And I think that's the frustration our public has. We have our own experience, but we see what the government's doing, and somehow there's no way to communicate. So that's a frustration. And the last thing people can do, really, it's the last resort, is bye-bye, we leave. It's like your family. You have a family, always have problems when you start out, right? But you talk it out. You say, what is good for our family? You come up with a goal, with a vision. Then you work on it. Then you achieve the vision, the goal. You don't just say, sorry, we're going to talk. Let's break up the family. You go your way. You cannot do that. We are people. We're human beings, right? And we're always looking for how do we, work together, become one whole country. And that's why that's why our country is called United States of America. We are now breaking up because people don't talk to each other. We're doing all the wrong things.
Right. Even the rich people, they have their own challenges. I heard the other side is talking about saying, these people, these millionaires making so much money, they should pay their fair share. But really, as like the lawmakers in Olympia, really this new income tax will bring more revenue. I'm kind of questioning about it. We don't have to guess what's happening. We can look at the real history. So I want to bring this. There's some interesting information. In France, it's a textbook example of this France Solidarity Wealth Tax, known as ISF. It was introduced in 1980s. It was created with the best intention of social fairness. It sounds really good. They're only targeting the residents with global assets over 1.3 million euros. So it's much higher than our $1 million bar. And the tax rate is also really low. It's only like 0.5% to 1.5%, which is much lower than 9.9% rate that was introduced in the Washington state. However, it checked a massive billionaire exodus. So lots of people are leaving. Some famous example, it's like CEO of Louis Vuitton. So he applied for Belgian citizenship. And also the famous movie star, I'm kind of bad with the French name. It's Gerard Depardieu. Yes. Depardieu. He applied for the Russian citizenship. So end up France losing 200 billion euro in capital flight because of this tax. And it also depressed lots of the new companies. They don't want to start new companies in France anymore. So end up they losing money much more than they expect to get the revenue. So in 2018, the French president had to cancel the tax to stop the bleeding. So it's textbook example saying this new income tax will hurt Washington state more than benefit everybody.